Oh, hello! Welcome back to my Chanel. For spooky season, I just went to Epic Universe, Universal Studios, Disneyworld, and Halloween Horror Nights without an express pass. Very scary. So here's the good, the bad, and what I wish I knew before going. Now, as you may have gathered by my appearance, I celebrate Halloween 24/7, 365, so spooky season is my absolute favorite time of year. So going into this trip, I did have a wish list of things I really wanted to do in each of the parks. I wanted to meet Igor and the Invisible Man and eat at Das Steakhouse in Epic Universe, do the wand experience in Ollivander's, and also ride Hagrid's. I wanted to get the Tron Glambot video at Disney, as well as do all of the shows, the parades, see the fireworks, and eat at Beacon Barrel, which is the new Pirates of the Caribbean themed bar and restaurant. And finally, for Halloween Horror Nights, I wanted to go through the Terrifier house and meet Art the Clown. And the Death Eaters, but Art the Clown's more important, because I love Terrifier. Did I do everything on my wish list? Well, you'll just have to keep watching to find out. Also worth mentioning, I do have a gluten and sugar allergy, so eating anywhere is a pain in the ass, but eating in the parks? It was a challenge. So for this trip, I started off in Epic Universe, which just opened this year. I have been dying to go to this park ever since they announced Dark Universe, which is one of 4 portals in the park, but it's all Universal Monsters themed, which obviously is my shit. I was raised on the Universal Monsters, which is why I turned out the way I did. So my boyfriend and I stayed in a Universal hotel, which I highly recommend if you go, because that way you not only get a free shuttle to and from the parks, you also get early access, which lets you into the parks an hour before everybody else. And this also does include Epic, even though it is a brand new park. And this will give you a huge head start if you want to rope drop popular rides like Battle at the Ministry or Minecart. So Epic Universe has 4 portals, which is Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon, Dark Universe, and Ministry of Magic. Now, I only really cared about 2 of the portals. I did go and experience Super Nintendo World and it was really cool, but my whole reason for wanting to go was Dark Universe. And I also love Harry Potter, so Ministry of Magic was a close second. My first mistake was disregarding all of the research I've been doing for months before going on this trip, and instead listening to one of the workers in the hotels. Now, I thought that people who worked there would know better than people on the internet, but I was wrong. This guy recommended I skip rope drop for Battle of Ministry in Epic and go straight to Super Nintendo World because those wait times also get really long. I regret so much listening to this man, because while we went on the Mario Kart ride and it was cute, it was fun, I really wish we had just gone straight to Battle at the Ministry, because that ride was at huge wait times the entire time we were there, and we waited for 3 hours. For that ride. Not worth it. The only time I would say would be worth waiting for that ride was an hour, but that's it. Anything after that, don't waste your time. We missed out on so much because of waiting in that stupid line. Oh my god. Don't do it. The ride is not that cool. And that's coming from an obsessed Harry Potter fan who grew up watching the movies and reading the books. And this was my outfit for the Ministry portal. I really wanted to go for a Dark Witch vibe. It was so cute. One little girl came up to me and asked if I was Bellatrix. Best compliment. So speaking of Battle at the Ministry, the ride queue for that is absolutely insane. The detail, the scale of the Ministry is I'm getting chills just thinking about it. And going through the whole Flu network and traveling by Flu to get there was really cool. That was so well done. But holy shit, that ride was so overhyped. I don't understand people saying that that is the best ride at Epic. It is not, by far. Also, I was so mad that they rushed us past Higgledy, which is the one animatronic in the queue at Ministry. She's so cute and so well done, and we got to see her for 2 seconds. So, minor spoilers for Battle at the Ministry. It was fine. It wasn't amazing. The animatronics were beautiful. They were so well done. I thought they were real people at first. I did not think this ride was very good, which hurts me to say as an avid Harry Potter fan, but the storyline wasn't exciting. Yeah, the animatronics were incredible, but I would not go on that ride again. I'd rather go through the queue just to experience that than get on the ride, which is really weird to say. So, as you can imagine, after 3 hours, we were pretty hungry and cranky, so we went to go for a bite to eat at the Cafe Cyrene, which had the famous butterbeer crepe. That was worth the hype. That was so good. The rest of the food there wasn't that great though. Universal does do this thing that I really like because of my food allergies. You can add an allergy notice onto any order, and one of these chefs will come out and talk to you and ask what exactly you're allergic to, which is great, and you can either have things removed from your order or they'll advise you on what is best for you to eat, which is really nice. We ordered the steak and the beef bourguignon, and not my favorite. After our meal, we did one of 2 shows available in Epic. This one was in the Harry Potter world, and it was called Les Cercles Arcanus. It was cute. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people online said it wasn't worth going to, but I thought it was fun, especially if you love the Fantastic Beast films. Without spoiling it, this is a show where you get to see some fantastic beasts who are trapped in a circus. There's a fun pre-show where you're all standing in this room outside of the circus where you get introduced to the characters, and you get to see a few beasts. And then you go into a seated area and then enjoy the show. I thought the beasts were really well done. And after that, we just explored the streets of Paris for a bit. This world is meant to look like Paris because that's where a big part of Fantastic Beasts happens in the second film. Now, one thing I was worried about was I have a wand that's an interactive wand from Universal Studios that I got years ago, and I wasn't sure if that would work in Epic since it's a brand new park. But much to my surprise and delight, I was able to go around casting spells with no problem. I got to see a little Bowtruckle, which was so cute. He was picking a lock. I'm not sure if this was meant to be Pickett, but it looks exactly like him. One of my favorite spells to cast in the park was by this water fountain, where if you go up and cast a spell, a Grindylow will pop up and shoot water at you, which is really fun. And I found a moon calf. Oh my god, he's so cute. I wanted to take him home. Just look at those eyes. But I will say my favorite beast that I found was one that is hidden. There are no signs for him. You have to kind of know that he exists to go and find him. And that is the Demiguise, who is in this window that says pumpkin juice, but you cast Revelio in this window and he will appear and then disappear, which is so cool. One thing I will say, it's better to go back at night to see all of the animals and cast spells, because with the reflections on the windows, they can be hard to see sometimes. I also saw a bunch of nifflers in all the windows stealing shit, as they do. And then it was time for me to go to Dark Universe. I was so excited for this portal, you have no idea. We went straight to Monsters Unchained. Oh my god, the best ride in the whole park. Hands down, I'm sorry. There is no competition. The level of detail in Darkmoor itself, let alone the manor, oh my god, I just felt at home. And I didn't want to leave. I want to go back so badly. So there are only 2 rides in Dark Universe. There is Curse of the Werewolf, which is a roller coaster, and then there is Monsters Unchained, which is an experience. Best animatronics I've ever seen. Best queue. Best ride time. This thing is a people eater. The wait time on this was no more than 20 minutes all day, which is insane. Monsters Unchained, I could make an entire video about that alone, so I'll try to keep it brief, but oh my god, it is a masterpiece. Epic Universe has a crowning jewel, and it is Monsters Unchained. If you love Halloween, monsters, anything spooky and dark, you will want to live in this portal. The other ones don't exist. It is only this portal for you. It is like stepping inside of a Universal Monsters movie. So one of the main reasons I was so excited to go into this portal was because the soundtrack there was composed by Danny Elfman himself. It adds so much to the experience to walk in and just have this incredible music playing while literally there is mist, there's fog coming in everywhere, there's coffins, it's like being in a haunted house outside. It is the best thing ever. So when you first walk in, there's the beautiful purple portal, right? With the lightning because Frankenstein. And then there's Frankenstein's catacombs right in the front there. You can't go inside, but if you go up and you listen, you can hear really fun things going on in the catacombs. I won't spoil it for you, but just stop and take a listen when you go into this portal. The fact that they had a shop for Dr. Pretorius made my fucking day. Dr. Pretorius was in The Bride of Frankenstein. They had the Burgermeister's house. They had a live musician playing violin walking around. Now, I didn't get to experience this myself, sadly, because of that stupid wait for Harry Potter, but I've heard that earlier in the day, this violinist will pull a couple out of the crowd and have them reenact the Phantom of the Opera. I'm so mad I missed that. There's this incredible well with smoke spewing out of it throughout the whole day. You can also do a meet and greet with the bride and Frankenstein. They sell a monocane drink at the Burning Blade Tavern. Oh, also the Burning Blade Tavern. In the original Frankenstein, there is this windmill that the Frankenstein's monster goes into and it catches on fire. Well, the Burning Blade Tavern, as you may have already guessed by the name, has that. And it actually catches on fire. And there's a whole soundtrack that was built specifically for this event. I posted in my Instagram if you want to experience it and hear everything in it, but holy shit, to experience that in person was magical. Now, sadly, I did not get to see Dr. Griffin. Haha, I know, very funny because he's the Invisible Man. But because when we first went there, it rained, so there were no characters out whatsoever. And then by the time we went back later in the evening, he wasn't there anymore, so I did not get to see Dr. Griffin, and I'm so mad about it because he is hilarious. He will go around roasting guests, making fun of people, calling them morons. It's the best thing. So I'm really hoping I get to go back and see him. But inside the Burning Blade Tavern, there are monster heads, there are monster hunters you can interact with there. So much fun. One of them was like, oh, come inside, you'll be safe here. Because, you know, there are vampires roaming the streets. So there is the Frankenstein Manor, which is at the heart of Darkmoor, and that is where Monsters Unchained, the ride, is. So incredible. Oh my god. I rode that thing 4 times because it was that good. And there are 4 different rides in the mechanism that you get on, so I wanted to experience the POV of each one. And I will say, after my extensive research, the second seat from the left is the best view. Alright, so spoilers for the ride. If you don't want to know anything, skip this part. But they made Dracula really hot. What the fuck? They had the creature from the Black Lagoon. I wish they did more with him. He's kind of like a little surprise that they throw in, but the animatronic looked so good. We also had Phantom of the Opera. With an organ and flames, and he reaches out to grab you, and it's so cool. And he's not the Gerard Butler hot version of Phantom. He is the Universal Monsters Lon Chaney version, which I am so happy they did because, oh my god. We also have the Wolfman. Very, very well done. And Igor. I love Igor so much. He is probably one of my favorite characters in the entire park. And I got to meet him. I was so happy. Okay, so we went back twice. We went there after going to Harry Potter World, and then tragedy befell us where we were on Curse of the Werewolf, which is not that great of a ride, sadly. Love the theming of it. Love that it's like the gypsy tent and the line is really cool. But we got on the ride, right? And it just starts to rain as we strap in, and we're like, oh no. So this ride, not amazing. It was fine. It wasn't my favorite roller coaster I've ever been on, but we come around after it's done, and there's the covered part of the ride where you get back on and get off, and no joke, we stop here, the covering is right here, and it starts to downpour on us. We're stuck literally a few feet from being covered by the ride so we would be dry. We were drenched by the time we got back to where we could get off the ride. And we had an umbrella, but this was like really coming down. But it was really cool to see Darkmoor in the pouring rain. I think it really added to the ambiance. But we were soaked. So we went back to the hotel, changed. Now, because I am very extra, I did bring another outfit just for Epic Universe because, you know, I wanted to dress like a dark wizard for Harry Potter World, and then I wanted to dress like the Bride of Frankenstein for Dark Universe. So this is my Bride of Frankenstein outfit. I was very happy with it. And then as we're walking back into the portal, I see Igor and I lose my shit. I'm like, oh my god, Igor! 'Cause I was so happy to see him because I didn't think I'd get to see him that day between the rain and us missing a lot of the day. So he immediately is like, come with me. And he takes me to go stand in front of the manor so we get a picture together. And then he just like keeps getting closer and closer to my boyfriend and the camera, which was hilarious. Got the best pictures with him. Then I took some pictures with the manor and in a coffin, and I had a little Bride of Frankenstein moment. And I will say, it is definitely worth seeing Epic Universe both during the day and at night, especially Darkmoor. Now, unfortunately, I did not pay close attention to the times that the restaurants opened and closed. I just assumed they would be open as late as the park was, but I was wrong. So we did not get to eat at Das Steakhouse, which I was so sad about because it looks beautiful in there. It is completely vampire themed. I was so sad we missed out on that. So instead we went to the Burning Blade. There was not much there that I could eat. I had to chat with the chef there. He was very kind and accommodating, and I did end up getting something. I think I had a deconstructed burger. But yeah, the food choices for the quick service there were quite lackluster for someone like me. So instead, we just spent the rest of our time going through the queue and really taking our time in Monsters Unchained because there's just so much to see. It's set up like Frankenstein's lab, and as you're walking through, you get to see this huge life-size replica of Frankenstein's monster, the Boris Karloff version. This mannequin was so eerily realistic. The thing had leg hair. It was wild. And there was this really cool x-ray machine that went up and down showing the insides of it, which was so cool to see. The bolts in his neck. He looked just like Boris Karloff. There were so many cool oddities and scientific specimens all around, like a nervous system and eyes. There was a beautiful portrait of Victor Frankenstein, and there were these huge glowing wires all throughout the manor. One of my favorite pieces of decor they had was, I think it was supposed to be Dracula. There was this little bat trapped inside this mechanism, and he was so cute. I loved him. Also, the animatronic that they have for Frankenstein's monster in the pre-show, absolutely insane. Also very attractive. What does that say about me? So Epic Universe, incredible. The food could have been better, but the rides were good. Monsters Unchained is where it's at. Overall, from me, Epic gets a 10 out of 10 tombstones just because of Dark Universe. So the next day, we were going to Disney for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Now, I've been to this event before, but it's been about 7 years. So one of the things on my wish list was to reenact this photo I took with my boyfriend 7 years ago, which we did thanks to a very kind stranger who took a picture in front of the exact same spot. So here we are, 7 years in between. And this was my Disney fit. I was so happy with this. I felt adorable. I found these ears at TJ Maxx for like $4. I've had this dress for forever. I added a tutu and my striped leggings, and I just felt very cute and spooky. So first on the agenda was the Beak and Barrel, which is the Pirates of the Caribbean themed bar and restaurant, which just opened this year at Disney. Getting a reservation for this place was insane, just because it just opened, so everyone wants to go there. But I will say, if you're interested in getting a reservation there, the easiest way is to download this app, and that is called Dream Table. This is not sponsored, I just did a lot of research, and this was the easiest way to get dining reservations at Disney. People cancel reservations all the time, but usually they are snagged really quickly. So with this app, I was able to get notified as soon as someone's reservation canceled and there was a space for me, and that is the only reason I got a reservation for Beak and Barrel. So we had a 4:30 reservation, so we got into Disney and we went straight there and we waited. We waited, I want to say 20 to 30 minutes, which was a fairly long time given that we already had a reservation. So I don't know what happened there, but I was not happy about that. Very surprised by Disney not being on top of their shit when it comes to reservations, but anyway, we get inside and it was fine. Now again, I am a huge Pirates of the Caribbean fanatic. I am obsessed with those movies, and being in there was cool. I enjoyed it, but I don't know that I would do it again. I will say the space was very well done, and I love that they have things that you could find in the bookshelves and kind of hidden throughout the space. Like there was Davy Jones' chest, you could see the map from the third movie. There was a really cool show where there were ships in bottles on a mantelpiece, one of which was the Black Pearl, and they had a full-on fight and a battle, and the Black Pearl gets sunk. And I don't know how they did this, Disney magic, but it looks like it's sinking inside the bottle, which is really cool. But it's kind of like an interactive show where the waiters and waitresses are pirates and they will come up and talk to you and make jokes. And there are some things that do happen throughout your 45-minute stay. So apparently you're only supposed to be in there for 45 minutes, then they kick you out. And they kind of sit you wherever. You may be seated with other people because it's kind of like an open seating thing. There's the bar, there are tables, and then there's kind of like this little shelf where you're tucked behind a piece of glass, and that's where we got sat. Very cool place for selfies. selfies because the glass casts a really cool watery shadow over your face. The menu was not that big in this place, and they have a 2-drink maximum. Like, you are only allowed to order 2 alcoholic drinks. I did not get any drinks. I did, however, get 1 food item. I got the Kraken's Catch, and that is octopus tentacles marinated in lemon and lime juice with olives, bell peppers, avocado, and piccolo pepper almond foam, apparently. It was good. I wouldn't say it was worth $18, but it was good. It was also tiny. So if you're expecting to go to have dinner here, you might need to go somewhere else because the portions are very small. Food at Disney, not my favorite. I love the host of this bar, which is Rummy, the green parrot animatronic. He's adorable, and he comes out and talks to you every now and again. And there are a couple of things that happen throughout your stay. There's a storm that happens, so lightning, thunder, lighting changes in the bar, and then mermaids come. Now, the only thing that happens with that is Rummy comes out and says to hold your ears so they don't get you with their siren song, and then they play the song from the movie. But that's pretty much it. Not something I'd want to do again, unfortunately. After that, of course, we went on Pirates of the Caribbean, which is one of my favorite rides, and we got stuck right in front of Captain Jack, so that was great. I got to take this video of him. Now, unbeknownst to either of us, the lovely Linda, aka Glitter Fallout, here on YouTube and Instagram, had planned a Disney trip for the exact same day as me. So of course, once we realized that, we had to meet up. I love her. She's amazing. Go check out her channel. Now, I did get to go on Tron, and I got my Glambot moment. I don't know, I feel like it was fine. I don't know if I would do that again and waste time going on the ride instead of going out and experiencing all the spooky stuff throughout Disney. Also, fun fact, to get all your photos and videos for one day at Disney will set you back $75. The mouse is greedy. God damn. One thing I was sad about when it came to Disney was there was no merch that I was really excited about or that I wanted. Because this is spooky season, this is my shit. And I also love Disney, so I was expecting to see something that would strike my fancy. Nothing. Even the Haunted Mansion merch wasn't that exciting. Ironically, we Ubered to a Walgreens the next day, and they had a whole wall of Disney stuff because it was right outside Disney. And I found more stuff there that I wanted and was more excited about than at Disney itself. I got 2 pairs of keychains, which I turned into earrings from Nightmare Before Christmas. I got Jack in his coffin, and I got Zero, and I got a Slytherin pin. And they were all so much cheaper than they would have been at the parks. In terms of my wish list at Disney, I got to do just about everything that I wanted to do, which was crazy. Because we were only there for such a short amount of time, you get to go in, I want to say as early as 3:30 or 4 for the not-so-scary Halloween party. The only thing I didn't really get to do was meet Jack and Sally, but their line was so long, it just wasn't worth it. One of my favorite things about Disney and the Haunted Mansion during this party is that they have actors out there who play ghosts, and they will roast you as you wait in line. And I forget her name, but there's a ghost actress out there in the queue for Haunted Mansion making fun of people and pointing people out in the crowd, and she picked my boyfriend, and I was so happy.
Look at that human right there, so excited to be here. Rip the slaves off his shirt. That is my kind of fun. What is your name, mister?
Jesse.
Jesse, it's so nice to have you here tonight. Where are you from, Jesse?
New York.
New York? People still live there? How exciting. New York, capital Albany, am I right, Jesse? I got a lot of time in my hands. I know all the capitals.
She was hilarious. Haunted Mansion was incredible as always, and I love that they have all this fog and mist coming out of it as you exit. One of my goals at Disney was to get all the pictures everywhere, which I definitely achieved, so thank you to my boyfriend/photographer. Then it was time to line up for the trio of events that I was most excited for, which was the parade, the fireworks, and the villain show. Now, last time I went, I did not get to see all 3 of these, which I was really sad about, so this time I made sure we saw everything. First up was the Boo to You parade, which was started by the Headless Horseman. It was so cool to see him coming down the street. I also really loved the Pirates of the Caribbean float. Getting to see Captain Jack Sparrow and Barbossa was such a treat. And of course, my girl, Constance Hatchaway, she was floating around. She looked so good. And then one of the tricks I learned about online was if you follow the parade or leave just as it's ending, and you can tell it's at the end by all the female villains being there, like Mother Gothel and Maleficent. So as soon as I saw them, we booked it to the castle. And I was front and center for the Villain Spectacular, which was exactly what I was hoping for. I did not get to see this last year, so getting to see it this year that close was amazing. It's a really fun show with all the villains of Disney. You have the three witches from Hocus Pocus, you have Oogie Boogie, Maleficent, the Evil Queen, all the villains. And then after that was going to be the fireworks show. Now, one thing that was happening for the fireworks show that I really wanted to see up close and personal was the Jack Skellington puppet. So I parked my ass front and center and I did not leave until the fireworks started. And I got the most amazing view of him as he came out through the fog and started singing and talking to everybody. It was so cool. I think that was probably one of my top moments of the night, just getting to see him coming straight at me. Incredible. And then there was the fireworks show, which was not as good as I remember. And I feel like the songs were different, so it was fine, but not my favorite. And then because I wasn't really feeling the fireworks show, I decided to leave and just kind of go take advantage of the shorter wait times for some of the rides, go see some characters. I got to see Ariel and Prince Eric, which was really cool. I went on the Little Mermaid ride for the first time, which also broke down. A lot of the rides we went on that night broke down. Maybe it's me. So this event ends at midnight, and we were trying to leave around 11. So we went and saw the parade one last time, caught the Headless Horseman again, and then as we were trying to go out, we were blocked. We couldn't leave the park because the parade was going on. There was no way to get around it to the exit, which was really, really frustrating because all we could do was just stand there with this crowd of people pressing in around us. It was insane. And then because we had no choice but to sit there and wait in this crowd of people, we got out at the same time everyone else did, and it was chaos. And because we didn't rent a car this trip, we Ubered back and forth because it was cheaper, we got severely screwed by the prices. So because they knew everyone would be leaving, Disney at midnight, the Uber prices, which were around $20 to get back to our hotel, were jacked up to $80 to $100. So that was the worst part of the night. So for Disney, I'm gonna say 7 out of 10 tombstones. It was fun. I definitely enjoyed the shows and the rides, but the food was really tough. There was not much for me to eat there. And then the ending of the night really soured it for me. So the next day we were going to Universal Studios and Island of Adventure, so we were park hopping. So because of the fiasco at Disney at the end of the night, we didn't get home till well after 1, so we decided to not do early access the next day for Universal. We decided to sleep in because we knew it was going to be a long day. So we got to Universal around 10 o'clock in the morning and we went straight onto The Mummy, which was one of my favorite rides. I love those movies. And I don't know if I'm just getting older or if the ride has changed, but it was a lot more painful going on that ride than I remember. Like, my body hurt after getting off that thing. And then we went through the shops and we saw some of the merch for Halloween Horror Nights, including Santa art. And then we went to go see something that we had also missed last time we went to Universal, which was the Monsters Makeup Show. This show was so much fun. I highly recommend it if you're in Universal Studios in Florida, especially if you love seeing the behind the scenes stuff about films and horror. It's a great time. There are also a lot of really cool things to look at outside of the show while you wait to get in. After that, we went to one of my favorite parts of this park, which was Diagon Alley, and we had lunch at the Leahy Cauldron. In terms of food, Leahy Cauldron and anything in the Harry Potter parts of the park killed it. It was so filling, it wasn't bad for me, I could actually eat it, and it was tasty. I had a fish pot pie, which was really good, and my boyfriend had the eggs, which I tried. Oh, so delicious. And once again, I wanted to give Dark Witch vibes, so this was my outfit for my Harry Potter day in Universal. After lunch, we went to Nocturne Alley, which is one of my favorite parts of this park. It's so creepy. I belong there. Of course, we went to Borgin and Burke's and explored all of the oddities in there, the skulls, the cursed diadems. And it's all dark too, there's no sun anywhere. And they have the vanishing cabinet from the films, and if you get close enough you can hear the bird inside, which is such a cool little detail. So we explored the park, we went through all the shops in Diagon Alley, and then we went to the ride, which is Gringotts. Super fun. The dragon wasn't working that day, he was not spouting fire, which made me very sad. And then we made our attempt at doing one of the things on my wish list that I was most excited for, which is the wand experience at Ollivander's. So for those of you who haven't seen Harry Potter or are not familiar with it, there is a scene in the first movie where Harry goes to Diagon Alley for the first time and he gets his wand. And it's this whole thing where the wand chooses the wizard, and it's a magical experience where he's, swishing his wand around trying to see if it's a good fit for him, and he's breaking shit. But as someone who, again, grew up with Harry Potter, read all the books, watched all the midnight screenings, like I lived Harry Potter as it came out, and I was convinced I was gonna be a witch when I grew up. This was something that I was really hoping to experience because it's literally a dream come true for me. So I had read online that this experience was picked at random. They only pick one person per group, and they usually pick someone who looks like a witch or wizard, and it's usually a kid. So I went into it kind of thinking like, all right, there's no way they're gonna pick me because I'm not a kid. I'm not dressed in Hogwarts robes. Like, we are the first people in line for this experience. It ends up that there are only 4 of us, no, I lied, 5 of us that go into this experience. There's me, my boyfriend, and 3 other adults. No kids. So I'm like, holy shit, this might actually happen. So then we are brought into the shop by the wand assistant, and the wand maker is there on the steps with her back to us. And before we even went in there, I told my boyfriend, if they pick me, please film it. So she comes down the stairs and greets us and says, welcome to Ollivanders, makers of fine wands since 382 BC. So she's looking at all of us, and then she does one of these, what is your name, my dear, to me? I was like, my name's Heather. She's like, step forward. So I'm there, tears streaming down my face. I'm trying to wipe them away. Like, you don't understand. This is a dream come true for me since I was 10 years old. This is a dream 20 years in the making, and I am just in utter disbelief that this is happening. She goes and she picks a wand for me, and she's like, here, try this one. Give it a wave and say this spell. So I give it a wave. I'm breaking shit all over the shop because this is not my wand. It was great. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Then she stops. And that iconic Harry Potter music starts playing, and she's looking through all these wands behind her, and she picks one, and it's this gorgeous gothic themed wand. It's beautiful, perfectly goes with my outfit and my aesthetic. And she hands it to me, and this halo of light comes around me, wind starts blowing my hair, and this chorus of singers starts, and I'm just losing my mind. It was amazing. And she's like, this is clearly your wand. And I just start crying again. I'm just crying, saying thank you so much. I'm hoping she understands how much this meant to me. That made my entire life. That was even better than I had hoped for. It was magical. It was amazing. Holy shit. As soon as I got outside the room, I just started bawling. I hugged my boyfriend. I was like, oh my god, that happened. So I had to take a minute to compose myself, and then we went back out into Diagon Alley. So yeah, 10 out of 10 tombstones already. 100 out of 10 tombstones. 1,000. So after that, went around the park casting some spells, and then we went on the Hogwarts Express, and then we went to Hogsmeade, and there was a 10-minute wait to go into the ride at the castle, which was insane. Also another amazing queue. If you're a big Harry Potter fan, it is worth going just to see the queue alone. You get to go in the castle, you're in Hogwarts. This is one of my favorite rides in the park as well. So well done, so much fun. And then we went on Flight of the Hippogriff, which wasn't built the last time I was there, so I was really excited to ride it. And this ride also hurt me. It was not a fun ride. It was kind of painful. It was really cool to see Buckbeak. I took a lot of pictures of the animatronic Buckbeak in line. He was adorable. But then we went on what I think is the best ride in Universal outside of Monsters Unchained and Epic. Hagrid's. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love fast rides. And Hagrid's was even better than I imagined. It is so much fun. It is smooth. This ride does not hurt you. Not only was this just an incredible ride to experience, but it was also really emotional because the actor who played Hagrid, Robbie Coltrane, has passed away. I just remembered this interview clip of him saying that even though he won't be around to see, the legacy of Harry Potter, Hagrid will be. It was great to just hear his voice again and see the huge animatronic of Hagrid. It also has one of the longest wait times, so we went in single rider, which is so worth it. And luckily, the person who I went on with for single rider didn't want to be in the motorcycle. So my first time on Hagrid's doing single rider, I got to go on the motorcycle, and it was so much fun. And then we had dinner at the Three Broomsticks. Again, amazing food, so good. I got to try pumpkin juice for the first time, which was so good. Oh my god, very sweet, but delicious. We also went to the Hogshead and I got to see the hog snorting and moving around behind the bar, which was really cool. I got some sunset pictures in front of the castle, which was another thing on my wish list. And then we went on some more rides like Jurassic Park and King Kong. The animatronic in King Kong is actually insane. I have never seen such a big animatronic in my life. It looks so real, it's wild. And then to end the night, we did Velocicoaster. This is another one that just hurt me. I wouldn't go on it again. I think once was enough. So the next day was our last day in Florida, and we went early access. We rope dropped Hagrid's and rode it again. Did it first thing in the morning, which was such a great way to start the day. The adrenaline, oh my god, it was amazing. Then we just wandered through the castle, did that ride again, and then we rode the Hogwarts Express back the other way to Universal Studios, because I didn't realize this last time. It's a different experience each time. Like each way you get to see something different in the train. We also caught the Animal Actor show, which was really cute and really well done. So if you're an animal lover, I would definitely catch that show. And then we went back to our hotel to rest up, because that night was Halloween Horror Nights. Now this is my first time ever going, and I was a little nervous because originally we had planned to go with Express Pass, because all the research I'd done online said if you don't have Express Pass, you're gonna have a bad time. And they were correct. Holy shit, the lines were the scariest part of Halloween Horror Nights. So we went back to the hotel, I changed into my Halloween Horror Nights outfit, which I was so happy with. Now I had been worried about getting let in with this outfit because I'd heard online that they were kind of strict with the dress codes. You couldn't dress too much like a costume, otherwise they wouldn't let you in. Same thing with like too much makeup. So I went in with like a whole jacket to cover my top because I was so worried they wouldn't let me in the park. But it ended up being fine. They did not care about my outfit. The sun and I are not friends. See how pale I am? I burn in 2 seconds, so I was hiding from that as best I could. I had an umbrella and a sun jacket to keep the sun off my skin, and I was still sweating. Now, we didn't get express tickets because they sold out for our date that we were going, so instead of that, we did the Stay and Scream, which was getting into the park early, around 4 or 4:30. So we went straight to that Terrifier line. I was not making the same mistake that I did in Epic. And we waited in that line for a good hour, but then we got in and we did the Terrifier house, which was like my #1 thing that I wanted to do at Halloween Horror Nights. It was so good. Oh my god, I love haunted houses and I love Terrifier, so I am a bit biased, but the Terrifier house was so well done. The smells, the scares, the amount of Art the Clown that was everywhere was so cool. I also love that they have this huge waterfall of blood, and they have an art up there, and just like the scale of this house was insane. And then you had the wet path and the dry path. We did the dry path just because I'd heard that the wet path was only really like leaky pipes dripping on you, and that didn't sound very fun. But it was such a fun experience. It was a great first house, and I'm so glad we did that. So then after that, we went through a few of the other houses. They were fine, nothing really amazing. Galkin was my second favorite house of the night. That was so well done, so unique too. A lot of really good scares in that one. I think we only got to do about 4 or 5 houses out of the 10 that they had, just because the lines were so long. It was intense how long the lines were without Express. So if I ever go back, I am definitely getting Express, because that would have made the night so much better. We still had a good time, but there was so much time wasted in waiting on lines. So then to try to get a glimpse of the Death Eaters, which was another thing on my wish list, we went to Diagon Alley. Now the one frustrating thing is that they don't tell you when or where the Death Eaters are going to be appearing, so you kind of have to see if you can find them by chance. And thankfully, I caught the tail end of one of the Death Eater shows, so I got to see the very end of it where the last Death Eater like goes like this, and there's a pillar of fire, which was really cool. So I got to see them a little bit, but I didn't get to interact with them, so at least I got to see them briefly. We also did the Doll's House. That wait was extremely long, and it feels like the houses were so short in comparison to the wait times. There was this really cool water show that happened in the middle of the park. We got to see the Clown Cafe, which had the special treats, which were the Art the Clown sunglass cookies, which unfortunately I could not have because sugar and gluten. We walked through several of the scare zones, which was so much fun. I just love the ambiance and the vibes of the entire park for Halloween Horror Nights. It's so spooky, I love it. The scare zones were great. My favorite scare zone of all of them was Masquerade. It felt so immersive. There were so many vampires everywhere. I think it was the most scare actors in the entire park in one area. It was wild. Just the design of everything, the costumes, the tall vampire ladies in the stained glass. Oh, it was incredible. I wish we could have stayed there all night. By far my favorite scare zone. Mel's die-in was also really fun with the zombies rolling around on roller skates. They scared the crap out of me. There was also a huge Raven character on stilts that was following me around. So much fun. But I have to say the highlight of the entire evening was the Nightmare Fuel show. My face went between like this and this the entire time. That show was insane. I highly recommend you looking up footage of it on TikTok or YouTube. It's an insane show. Just like the contortionists that they have, the fire that they have. Oh my god, the effects. There's so much like dangerous shit happening in that show. It's so entertaining and so wild. It was disturbing and I loved every minute of it. But I have to say the most disappointing part of Halloween Horror Nights was not getting to see Art the Clown anywhere. This guy is elusive as fuck. Now again, in my research, I saw that he tended to hang out in the Manhattan area around the Clown Cafe and around Club Horror. So we went to all those places throughout the night and we did not see him at all, which I was heartbroken over because that was the one thing I was looking forward to the most, was meeting Art the Clown. So I was really bummed about that, but the rest of it was great. The worst part were the lines. So overall, Halloween Horror Nights, I'm gonna give a 6 out of 10 tombstones because of those wait times, and there's no Art the Clown! The closest we got to seeing Art was this statue. Also, I found out after the fact, apparently the same day we were there at Halloween Horror Nights, Damien Leone, the creator of Terrifier, was also there. Didn't see him either. I just was very unlucky in not spotting the people I wanted to see there that night. And that is it for my experience at all of the parks during spooky season. Have you gone to any of these? Did you get a different experience? Let me know down below. But I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Oh, hello. That was sultry. For spooky season, I just went to Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney. I just forgot where I went. Where the fuck did I go? I don't know. I love all of the classic monsters. Frankula, my favorite monster. And this also doesn't clud. This doesn't clud. So my boyfriend and I stayed in a This is a larger than life. Jesus. Let me know if you guys went to any of these parks during. Yes.